Well, hi guys. We are going to be taking our arithmetic sequences and we're going to turn them into a series by adding them together, and we're going to come up with the sum of this arithmetic series. And the way we're going to do that is basically with one formula combined with the formula we learned from yesterday. And that is that if you want the partial, not the partial sum, the total sum, S sub n, that is n divided by 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. And this says a sub 1 is the first term and a sub n is the nth term of the sequence. And n is the number of terms you have. And when we do this, you are going to need to ask yourself 3 questions. You need to make sure you know the answer to these 3. You need to know, what is the first term? If you don't know that, you need to find that somehow. So that's the first question you're going to ask yourself when you're adding up the sum of several things in an arithmetic sequence. You also need to know, what is the last term? So we will need to know that. And then here we're going to call that the nth term, but all you need to think about that is this means the last term. That's a weird looking T. Okay, and then also you need to know how many terms are we adding up. Oh, I forgot my little shout out. I'm going to give my shout out today here to Avery. I enjoy talking to you, Avery, every day in class. You are a very good math student. I also enjoy talking to you about Skyrim and video games and stuff like that. But you also got inducted in the National Honor Society last night, so I just thought I'd give you your shout out. Okay, so those are the 3 things you need to know if you want to add up a certain number of terms in the arithmetic sequence. What's the first one, what's the last one, and how many terms are we adding? So let's go take a look at an example. Let's find the sum of the arithmetic series, and this is from 5 to 14. If you can't see that, that's n equals 5 to 14 of negative 2n plus 3. So let's ask ourselves the first 3 questions. Number 1, what is the first term? The first term is, if we plug 5 in for n, that's going to give us our first term. And if you can figure out that that first term is negative 7, then pat yourself on the back. Because 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So negative 7 is the first term in the list. Now we need to know, what is the last term, or the nth term. And here that means plug 14 in for n. Now if we plug 14 in for n, that's going to be negative 2 times 14, which is negative 28, plus 3 is negative 25. So we're going to be adding negative 7 plus dot 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 all the way out to plus negative 25. Now what we have to answer is, how many terms are we dealing with here? Now we're going from 5 to 14, and I don't want you to get caught in this trap of subtracting 14 minus 5. For example, how many numbers are there from 1 to 10? I can't just subtract 10 minus 1 and say there's 9 numbers. That's not true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them. So from 5 to 14, there are 10 numbers there. There's 10 terms. I hope that makes sense. From 1 to 10, that's 10 numbers. 5 to 14, if you want to do this, I guess you can do 14 minus 5, but then you better add 1 to that. 10 minus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So don't think I can just subtract those 2 to figure out how many terms there's going to be. So from here we can just use our formula. The sum is n, which is the number of terms, divided by 2 times a sub 1, which is the first term, plus a sub n, which is the last term. And this is going to be 5 times negative 32, which is negative 160. All right, let's do another example that's not so easy, because it can get a little trickier than that. Let's add up the numbers in the arithmetic series 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus dot dot dot. And it's like, what? You know, don't leave me hanging, bro. Tell me what's in there. But they look like this sometimes. This one is pretty easy to answer the first and the second question. What's the first term? Well, it's 3, because I'm looking right at it. There's a sub 1. What's the last term, or the nth term? Well, that's pretty easy. That's 99. But what's not so easy is that dot dot dot. They left us hanging. You know, how many terms are there? This is not the easiest thing to answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my formula from yesterday, and that formula was a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. And this n is what I'm looking for. I want to know the number of terms. So I would really like to know this. So a sub n, which is the 99th term here, I'm sorry, it's not the 99th term, it's the last term. So 99 is the nth term, 3 is the first term. The common difference is 3 to 6 to 9, we're adding 3 each time. So D is 3. And what I really want to know is how many terms do we have. So let's do a little math here. So 99 equals 3 plus 3n minus 3. So 99 equals 3n, so n is 33. That's how many terms I have. So now I can go back and use my formula. My partial, not partial sum, I said it again. My sum is n divided by 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. And so this would be 33 divided by 2 times 102. 2 goes in 102 51 times, and I have to do 51 times 33. So let's see if we can't do this old school. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 5 is 15, put a 0 placeholder, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 5 is 15. Let's see what we get. 3, 8, 6, 1. So the summation is 1,683. That's all there is to it. See you guys tomorrow.